Alright, I'm going to start this process of creating a form by just going to my Google Mail inbox. Up here at the top I've got choices I can make. I'm going to choose Documents. Right now on the left here under the logo I'm going to do Create New Form. Now when you first start, as you work your way down from the top, this checkbox here will automatically put in the email address of the person who submitted the form. So if you're doing things with students, it puts in their email address and you know where it came from. This field here, you put in the title that you want. And in this field, you can put any instructions that you would feel would be needed to help fill out the form. Right, now we can start editing our questions. Might be a good idea to come over here first and click the Save button. As always with anything in computers, you want to save a lot. So notice when I did that save, my question kind of changed. So as you go on a question here, there's always two of them to start with. When you put your cursor on it, it changes color. And to change what's there, you come over here to the right and click on the little pencil, the little edit button. Now, once you have a question in edit mode, you can change what kind of question it uses. There are several different ones. The one that's normally there is text, which gives you a small space where you can enter something. Paragraph text gives you a bigger block of area that you can type into. Multiple choice is multiple choice. Check boxes where you can check little boxes by things to choose them. Choose from a list where you have a pull down menu, and then scale where you can put in like least to greatest, and grid I'm not sure about, never used it. So you can experiment with these though and see what you feel fits the type survey you're doing. So for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and do a question and use a choose from a list. So I'll put in the question, what is your technology level? And underneath of it, you could put help text to give something to explain the question more. And put in my options that I want to use down here. So I'll put beginner, hit a return. I know a little. Return. I know enough to be dangerous. And return, and finally I'm an expert. Okay, I'm all done. Down here I've got a checkbox, make this a required question. So if you want to force them to have to answer this question, you check that. Otherwise you can just check done. Alright, so I'm done with my first question. I put my cursor on where it says sample question 2, come over here and edit it. So let's say I just want to get email addresses, so give me your email. I'll just leave it as a text question or a text block and do done. Okay, now I've completed the first two that are always in there, and if I want to add a new one, I come up here to the upper left, do add item, come down, pick the kind that I want, and I get a new blank question. Now, I originally made this a text question, but I've decided I want to use a paragraph and give people a little more space to put something in. So I'm going to just change this to paragraph and put in my question. Give me any ideas for things you want to learn. And do done. Alright, I've got my survey all done the way I want it. I'm going to come up here and click Save. And now I've got several different choices of how I can distribute this form. if I click on email this form, then I can go and in here pick email addresses for people in my Google domain and send out that survey. It appears in an email. With this box down here checked, the form itself will be in the email, so they don't even have to go anyplace. Just open the email and the form will be right there. Under more actions, you'll find the choice embed, and this will open this, and you'll have a highlighted length of HTML code, so you can actually paste this into some other web document, and then when they click on it, it'll take them to a form. So it won't be in an email, it'll just be a form sitting by itself someplace. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and email this just to myself. Include the form in the email, send that email. Alright, I'll go back to my inbox, and it shouldn't take too long. Here's my email. And so here is the form in my inbox, so I can click on that. And there's the email, and there's my form. Here's my choose from a list question, so I can pull this down and make a choice. I can give my email address. And I can come in down here and fill out whatever I want on ideas I want to learn about technology. When I get done, I can submit the form, and they will have this option, send me a copy, so it'll send them an email of a copy of what they did. So I'll just leave that check, do submit, and I'm done. Now here's a confirmation that they'll need to check. Yes, submit my response. Alright, it always ends up at this screen where you can either go back to the form or you can create your own. So I don't really need that. I'm just going to close this and be done with it. Now that I've got a response for my survey, I might want to look at those. So I'm going to go back to my inbox, click on Documents, and in my list here I'll find the survey I just created. So if I click on it, notice it now opens it in a spreadsheet. And in each of these different columns on the spreadsheet, you'll find the different information. The first column here is just a timestamp, date and time that it was sent in. Here's the username, the email address of the person who sent it from that checkbox that I put on to ask for that. Here's my information from my first question. What is your technology level? I chose I know enough to be dangerous, so that's what it put. Here's the text question, give me your email, so there's an email address, and this will be anything they typed into that paragraph field for what other ideas you wanted to learn. So of course with any spreadsheet you can come up here to the very top row and slide this over and make a bigger area. If you've got, for instance, the paragraph text will probably fill up more area. I could slide this over so that the email address appears on one line, and adjust this just to make it more convenient to read. Now, if for some reason I wanted to change my form, I come up here to the Form menu and do Edit Form. Okay, there's my form. I could come in here and make additions to it, and add or take away things. Now, if I'd done the embed, then and had this as an embedded link, then anybody who got the form would and went to the link would see the new version of the form. I'm not sure about the email. The email form may stay the same in the original email they got. But anyway, that's how you create a form to get information. You could use it for practice tests. You could actually even use it for tests. There are things that you can use to grade, give a test with a form like this that actually grades it for you, sends the results back to the students. There's a thing called Flubberoo that you could look at to do that. So in a nutshell, that's the way to create it and use a form for getting data.